Hello everyone, Vanguard of Valor here, and welcome back to Into the Breach. Now we're back here with the Zenith Guard, and so far they're working pretty well for us. We've managed to get through our first two islands with not a single civilian death, although we have failed an objective here and there, which is not quite so great, but we'll deal with it. We've got two islands left to go to, Pinnacle Robotics and Detritus Disposal, and I think next up we're going to go to Pinnacle Robotics. As much as this island doesn't really have any super amazing abilities for us, we're going to want to save Detritus Disposal for last, because that acid really makes these late game enemies easier. Then again, we're getting mostly prime guys anyway, so I guess we'll see if that actually pays off for us. But let's head over to Pinnacle Robotics and see what happens.
On behalf of Pinnacle, I welcome you. The climate on our island isn't ideal for humans, but the low temperatures are vital for machine life to thrive.
Alright, what do we got here? Well, District Z1101 is right beside us. That looks really nice. Defending the robot factories might be a little bit nasty, but getting a free power cell right off the bat would be real good. Lifeless Basin up here looks like it's a little bit problematic potentially, and then all of our other 2 stars are way far away, so we're not going to be getting that. We're probably going to go to District Z1101, Lifeless Basin, the Tundra, and whatever this is. Seems like our best layout here. We've got a whole bunch of laser firepower here on the laser mech, so it means we actually have a weapon that can do 4 damage, which hopefully isn't a mistake. We've really invested heavily into this. We also have our charge mech here, which has some useful abilities, but doesn't have a whole lot of firepower yet. Primarily it has health. And we have our defense mech, which has barely anything, but has been doing a pretty good job so far. So let's go put it to use in District Z1101 and see what we can do.
These factories are manufacturing hostile machines, but there are hundreds of innocent lives within. Please defend them while we try to shut them down safely.
Well, let's get in there. We're gonna have a whole bunch of additional robot enemies in addition to a ton of primes. We have a spider on the map already, and everything's awful. Let's go. Alright, starting off with a blast scion and a whole pile of mess. That's exactly what we like to see. The Alpha Centipede is super nasty, hitting a ray of acid as well as dealing damage. We have 2 of them. A Scarab and an Alpha Spider. This is going to be a bad battle. Alright, well, let's do it and see what happens. We'll stick ourselves around the map and generally try not to get horribly murdered, I think. Hopefully the spider aims at the charge mech, but even then that'll block our way, which isn't ideal. Oh boy. Is there a better place to put you then? I don't think so. Unless we maybe put him over on the other side. That throw is pretty far though, I think. He can only move 2 tiles, but I think he can throw relatively far. If it is only in a straight line, we might be able to get away from it, but we're going to need to deal with the egg no matter what, so I don't even know if there's a better solution there. Here's what we might do. I don't even know. Let's confirm and see what happens. It's going to be a bad time, I think, no matter what. Alright, that was the expected play. He grabbed his own scorpion, which is not bad, honestly. Got a robot starting behind us. And a whole pile of nastiness. Now, thankfully, we actually only have 2 enemies that are attacking, which is not terrible. We can't quite kill any of them, though, because our tank can't get out. Now, if we do want to put a shield on something, we could shield one of these 2 buildings, then we just have to kill him. Unfortunately, if we do kill him, he explodes and hurts that building, which is not so good. And we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies on the map right now? So if we don't deal with those, it's going to get out of hand unbelievably quickly. Now, what we could do... no, I don't think that's going to work. The artillery bot's behind us, so it's going to be causing trouble shortly. How do we deal with this mess? I can move Lita over here and blast down this line, which isn't abysmal, and we can use the charge mech to smack the scion. That's probably the play there. That way we can kill the scion, kill off the spider, and damage these guys. But we can't do anything about the scarab this way, so we probably have to pull it with the pull mech. and block this with it, which would do 2 damage to us and adjacent enemies, which isn't amazing, because then anything else that hits us absolutely kills us unless we stop to repair, but that might actually solve the problem. Problem is, we can't pull him out of the way because there's going to still be an enemy there, just a damaged one. I think we have to use the charge mech over here to kill the blast scion, and we need to use the laser mech in some way to damage the rest of this mess. We may want to bring him over here and fire across this line, because that way the Alpha Centipede will be on 1 HP and the Scarab is dead, plus he tanks the hit for the building here, and also coats this Centipede in acid, although he'll be on 1 HP, so that doesn't really matter. The defense mech, I don't know what I want to do with it yet, which is a bit of a tricky bit here. We can either kill the artillery bot or the spiderling egg with it if we want, just by going next to it and pulling it into us. We probably want to kill one of those 2 health units, I just don't know which one. As it stands, I probably want to kill the charge mech. I mean the artillery mech here. So let's kill him. Since he's a robot, he's not affected by the blast scion, I don't believe, so we're good on that front. We can also slap this guy. Good, good. Now we have to kill this laser mech. I could stand here and laser this way. That way we wouldn't kill him, but we would still kill him, and we would block the spawn, which would mean we'd only have 5 enemies next turn to deal with instead of 7. But we're going to get another robot spawn, so it's going to be 6 instead of 7. Or 5 instead of 6. What else could we do here? Is there any way we can kill the spider? No. Is there any better way for us to kill people? Not really. Either we stand here and do more damage to the laser mech and let this building get hit, or we stand here and don't block that attack. So we have to stand here. It sucks that we're going to get hit for 2 damage, and hopefully we don't get hit for more. But the main thing is that this lets us do this, and his attack will kill the other centipede as well. So our laser mech's going to be critically low, but we have a minimum of additional monsters to deal with here, because we're only going to have 4 instead of a possible 6. So that'll do. Well, 5, because this guy's going to spawn 1 too. Plus, he spawns in acid, which means he'll take additional damage when he spawns in. And the spider jumped into acid, which is extra nice. He's presumably going to attack here. Yes, because he can't do anything else. Okay, so how do we handle this then? The spiderling is kind of doing nothing here, which is fine by me. We could use the charging mech to slap the alpha scarab into the spiderling egg. That'll kill him directly because of the double damage, and the bounce will kill the spider egg, which is pretty good. We can use the defense mech to kill the cannon bot, and theoretically we could use the laser mech to fry the alpha spider and the spiderling. But then this building would get hit by the alpha centipede, which is no good. The real trick here is that we actually can't do anything to the alpha centipede because none of our Zenith laser mech attacks actually push them. I could attack this way, but that would destroy our building, and that's no good. So what do we do here then? I could pull the alpha centipede over 1 tile and then laser the line. But then I can't do anything about the cannon bot this turn, but I think that's still the best play, because that way the Alpha Centipede kills the Alpha Spider for us, because he'd be on 1 HP. We also kill the little spider, the Alpha Centipede would be on 1, and both of these guys are dead. That's probably the maneuver here. It's not quite as nice as it maybe could have. Oh no, actually he has acid on him, so he dies outright. Okay, that's fine, because it means his acid attack still hits nothing. So even though that's not what I was expecting, because I forgot about the acid there, it still doesn't affect us negatively, because there's nothing over there to infect. Now we can bring our charging tank over, and remove those 2. There we go. Okay, now we're down to only 4, potentially 5 enemies, because we're going to have 2 new ones that spawn, and another cannon bot. Yeah. Could I have put you here? I don't think so. I don't think you had enough movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might have been able to get to here. It might have been better to block that spawn. But we'll see what happens this turn. We'll deal with it. I think it might have been better, because then we would have fewer enemies for the next turn. We'd only have 3 and then 1 inactive one to deal with. But it is too late to worry about that. Let's end our turn and see what happens. Big acid attack goes nowhere, which is what we like to see. Robot is now active. 2 scorpions is actually really bad. Okay. Okay, this is actually incredibly good, turns out. We can just laser that whole line and they all die. That's... Oh, they have a ton of health, though. They actually don't all die. Okay, well, point being, we can still laser all these guys, and they mostly die. This attack is... Oh, We're probably going to have to use the defense mech to pull this over one, but if we do, to block the laser mech, then it gets killed by the spawning here, unless we kill him with the charge mech first, which we may have to do. So I think what we do here... Okay, I think this is what we have to... No. So the reason why I'm a little bit unsure is that if we bring the laser mech to here and fire the laser down this line, we actually destroy our robot factory. So I can't do that. I could pull one of them back a tile, then fire the laser along this line, which would kill him because he's in the acid, use the charge mech to kill the alpha centipede, and... destroy both of these two, but then we can't do anything to the Alpha Scorpion here. The alternative would be to pull him back 1 tile, still use the laser mech here, because that way the 3 damage gets doubled in 6 and still kills him, and the 1 damage still kills that guy, and he's out of the line of sight of this. We have the charge mech that can come down and attack the Alpha Scorpion, but because of his positioning, we actually can't get him out the way. This is nasty. I was kind of hoping not getting 2 alphas that have 5 health on this turn, but it looks like the game does not want to cooperate now that we're on hard mode. Surprise, surprise. Now, if we have to, we can always take the defense mech to here and shield both of these buildings, but that means that neither of those guys die, and we're going to have to deal with a mess. That would mean that we can kill the active cannon bot and the alpha centipede, but it's not really a great kill, it's just a kill, which is problematic, potentially. It would mean that we live for this turn, but we may not live for future turns. Our mechs are getting a little bit damaged, too, so we're going to have to be careful here. Now, that might honestly be the best move, because otherwise I don't think we can get through this without taking 1,000,000 damage. It does mean that we're going to have to deal with 5 enemy actions next turn unless we block some of these spawns, though, which is going to be hard because our laser mech doesn't have any health, so we can't block a spawn with him, and our charge mech can't kill anything and block a spawn. So the only thing that can block the spawn is the defense mech, which has to be over here to shield these 2 buildings. So, it's not necessarily going to be an easy situation here, but I think we have to make the best of it with what we've got. So let's shield these buildings. The only way to clear all the things that are actively damaging things is to make best possible use of what we've got. Even if it's not actually great use of what we've got. I could throw a boulder here instead, but I actually want to set these tiles on fire to make it less likely that all the enemies go over there. Especially this one. Both of these are beside buildings, so it benefits us to have them on fire, but I don't know if this is going to work out here, guys. Let's end our turn and see if we can make this work. We are in for a painful turn, I think. Another Alpha Scorpion. Yeah, that's not great. That is certainly not great. Our defense mech is tied down, so we can't do anything with it unless we attack the Alpha Scorpion. Our laser mech can't actually get to a position to kill the artillery mech, and neither can the charge mech. The only thing that could theoretically do that is our defense mech, because it could get over to here. But, yeah, this might be dangerous, because the only way we can stop the Alpha Scorpion is by setting our charge mech on fire. And then I don't think our... Oh no, we can throw a rock at this guy. Okay, we might be able to do this, but I don't know for sure. I don't think we can save all the buildings, which worries me. Because as of right now, the only way to free the Alpha Scorpion is to hit it with the charge mech. If we hit it with the charge mech, it can move all the way over here and stop the artillery mech by pulling it forward one tile, or it can move all the way over and set itself on fire. One, two, three, four, five. It actually can't get far enough to pull this guy off of position, but it could move over to here and shield this building. And then we have just the laser mech left, which could theoretically whap the Alpha Scorpion with a rock or a laser for 3, which doesn't kill it, and can't get to the artillery mech. So the only thing in our team that can stop the artillery mech is the defense mech. The laser mech could theoretically stop the Hornet, but the charge mech would have to stop both these Alpha Scorpions, which is not possible. We also can't just stay here and shield this building, because that'll kill us. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I think we have to hit the defense mech. I think we have to use the charge mech to hit this guy, to free up our defense mech, so he can save these 2 buildings. Then we have to use the laser mech to throw a rock at this guy. I don't know if it makes a huge difference which one we save, because this is 2 damage and this is 2 damage. So either way, we take 2 damage, which sucks. But we might block it. We have 26% grid defense, and I can't see any way we could possibly save this from taking at least 2 damage. We just don't have enough actions. We need 4 actions to save the day here, and we only have 3. This is where having a little push mech might actually be useful. We could push this guy and then do all the actions we need. But in this case, we don't have that, so I think we're going to have to come down to chance. Specifically because this guy is in a position literally nobody else can hit, and we have to do everything in one go here. So let's do it. Let's enable the ram. Slap him out the way. We can just barely get our defense mech up to here, which means we're in a position we can pull this guy out the way. We can bring our laser mech up to here. We don't want to stand in the fire, because that way we lose. Even if I could use it to hit him, I can't push him. So it's better instead to just kill this bug. And see if we can get lucky and get the 26% resistance on this one building. Man, this was a tough battle, and it looks like we're gonna get all our objectives, but we may lose our perfect civilian saved bonus. Come on, resist, chance. We got it! Ooh! That is some good luck. I guess pumping all that extra power into the grid paid off for us. Man.
I've broken through their firewall and safely disengaged the factories from the power grid. They will no longer pose a threat.
Oh man. We got all the objectives, we didn't lose any civilians. These missions are hard, though. There's so much health on all these enemies. Alright. Alright, well, let's go. We got another power core. We're going to use that to turn on the heat converter here, because being able to freeze an enemy is going to be pretty important for us, I think. We've got some other handy power-ups we could go for, but getting that heat converter turned on so that we can at least disable one enemy should make things a little bit smoother for us. I'd love to go up damage, but even 4 damage is not enough to kill these 5 damage behemoths we're facing off against every time now. Alright, Camilla, you've got your heat converter turned on. That might give us a bit of an edge here. Time to go to the Lifeless Basin. This one gives us a freeze tank, which should make things significantly easier, because we can freeze both of these robots in the first turn.
These machines are not currently themselves. Look past their malfunctioning aggression and see them as living beings.
Well, we'll see about that. Gotta freeze and defend both robots. That's our only main objective. Let's get in there. Our little freeze tank here should make things way easier. We've got Genos on board. Artillery mech, cannon mech, scorpion, and a blast scion. This is a remarkably easy to kill team. I like it. Let's put... like that, I think. Let's confirm that layout and see what happens. Alright, they're really going in hard here, which is kind of annoying. I can't just pull this guy to the side, because then I won't be able to actually get past him. But they have indeed boxed us in here. In order to get rid of the artillery mech, we're gonna have to deal with some other problems here. So, our starting layout was not great, and now we're kinda stuck. What's the best way to deal with it? One solution is take the defense mech to here, pull the scorpion out the way, use the laser mech to kill the scorpion, which would be bad because it would destroy this building with the explosion, and use both of these guys to freeze these enemies. But because it'll actually destroy the building, that's not incredible. Now what I could try to do is back up a tile and put a shield on both of these guys. I believe a shield would break the webbing, and he'd be able to come around and blow up the blast scion. This attack would now hit nothing, and we can use these two to freeze the remaining mechs, although I don't know if I can actually get to and freeze this one, because these guys would still be in the way. I could freeze one of them, but I wouldn't be able to get around to freeze the artillery mech, which would mean we'd be taking a lot of damage, because that thing hurts a lot. Let's see here. I can't just laser straight forward, even though it would kill the scorpion, because it would also kill the artillery mech and the cannon mech, which is pretty incredibly bad. What else would be a good play here? I can't just pull him over one, because then he destroys the civilian building. Although I could potentially do that if I then freeze him, but I can't freeze both of these guys in one turn, and I kind of have to, because they're both in line to destroy buildings. I could just use the boulder to kill this one, but it would still explode the laser mech right next to me, unless I freeze him first, and then, after having frozen him, were to use some other ability, but I can't freeze him first, because I need to be able to move the freeze tank to here, and if I use the freeze effect first, it sets our tank on fire, which is not good, because we need this guy to be able to freeze both the robots. Wow. Okay, well, I think what we're gonna have to do is some combination of moving the charge tank over to here and slapping this robot, hitting him to kill him, and maybe pulling him forward one. I think that would have to be the play, yes. So we move the charge tank over to here. Is this right? Charge tank over to here. We have a reset if we need it. We throw a boulder into this guy. After we charge him. That's not gonna work. I have to move him first. We're so close to being able to do this, but the turn order is not good. If I hit him with the rock here, he explodes, but I need to clear that space to put our defense mech into so that I can block these buildings. I guess the alternative would be to shield these two buildings, and then I don't need to move him. Okay, that'll have to do. We put the shield on these two. Interestingly enough, that doesn't turn off the web. Well, we learned something new there, and that's worthwhile. Then we use the charge mech to kill the blast scion. We throw a rock into the scorpion. We step... We stay here. I was thinking we have to step forward, but we do not want to step forward. we want to stay in position and freeze the cannon mech. This way the armor, the shield there, blocks the damage from him, and we should be able to freeze him next turn, and we only have 2 new enemies coming in. That should do it. Okay. Well, both of those shields were super handy. We have an acid-throwing scorpion. And a super hornet, which I don't like the look of very much. Now, what we could do here is ensure he dies by putting our charge mech in the middle, freezing the artillery mech, and setting the alpha centipede on fire, then stepping up and lasering him with the laser mech. We could then potentially use our freeze tank to stop the alpha hornet and deal with the rest of them as we need to. I think that's definitely the maneuver here. We're going to stand in the middle, freeze you and set him on fire, step up point blank, and laser you, and the fire will kill you before you get a turn, and then freeze the big hornet. Alright. I could do something with my little defense mech here. I could put a shield on him, but he's not going to take damage. I could put a shield on the charge mech, but I don't know if that's worth it. We're going to hold on to our limited use abilities until we need them. I'm just going to move a little bit closer into the map here to see what happens. And let's end our turn. The freeze tank really does make this a little bit more survivable. Another alpha hornet. And another nasty scorpion. Alright, well, on the plus side, we should be able to deal with these guys. On the downside, I have to figure out how I want to do so. So I could just freeze him. We can easily kill the alpha hornet by lasering the heck out of him. But if we laser the heck out of him, we free up these two, which we don't actually want. Can I put shields on these? If I put shields on them, do the shields stop the ice from breaking? Or do the shields replace the ice? I don't know how that works, and I'm a little bit hesitant to try to find out. Now, if I hit him with a boulder, this will turn into water, but he's flying, so that won't matter. Instead, we could bring the charge mech over to here, ram him into the wall, which will bring him down to 2 HP, and then we could try and do something else fancy with him, but I don't know what we could do. I can pull him forward 1 tile onto the spawn, but then he still shoots us and doesn't die to the spawn blocking. Although it would be fun to block both the spawns so they don't get any more units this turn. This guy is partly the problem, though. I don't know exactly what we want to do about him, because I can't just laser in a straight line here, because that's not going to work. I could stand here, pull him this way, fire through him into the defense mech. It'll do 4 in this tile, 3, and then 2, so he'll still have 2 HP. And then I could just bop him and tank the damage, but it would free up the artillery mech, which we don't like. Although I could also just freeze him and then not have to worry about it. We'd only have 1 new spawn coming in, and everything else is frozen. I think that's actually maybe the best maneuver here. We don't kill a lot of stuff, but we're going to have a ton of frozen guys, so it's not really going to matter. So I can get to that position to freeze him? Yes, we can. So I could just stand here with the charge mech, bop him, and then freeze him. The bop doesn't even matter, though. I could just repair myself, and then I don't worry about taking damage. Since we're not going to kill him once he's frozen, it doesn't actually benefit us to hit him and weaken ourselves. So let's laser our own unit. We got a level up for Lita for shooting his own guys. Good work. Down to here and freeze you. And now we're going to repair ourselves so that we can block this tile for free and only have 1 enemy, which we should be able to immediately freeze and ignore. This one was a little bit tricky on the first turn when everything was still alive, but not so bad after that. We have a single 3 health scorpion, which is really not a big deal. Let's just laser him to death and reap our rewards. Alright, end turn. Everyone's got actions available. You know what? Just for the fun of it, let's just have you guys not have taken that much damage in that fight. There you go. End turn. Okay. Given how tricky that first mission was, I'm glad this one wasn't quite so bad. It helped that we had an additional freeze tool, though. Otherwise, that would have been a lot trickier, I think.
Thank you for protecting the sentient life. I'm sure I will be able to restore their programming.
Now, what was the ability we got on that promotion? Hopefully it's a good one. We can keep using him, because we're having trouble getting good pilots here. What do we get? 2 mech HP. I mean, I will take it. 2 mech HP is pretty good. Brings us back up to 5. We have gotten some pretty good basic pilots here, so I'm not going to complain about that. I'd love to get another new pilot before the end of the game, so we can bring someone other than Camilla into our next run. I don't mind Camilla. She's got some good abilities on her, and evasion is really nice. But I'd love to bring somebody new over if we can. Now, in order to get through the remaining missions here, I don't think we really have many options. We're probably just going to have to stick with what we've got. But the Tundra has an ice storm, and we have to end the battle with less than 4 mech damage. So that'll be fun. There have been so many of these missions since we have a single mech that causes damage to itself. Oh boy. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and I look forward to hearing your comments about it in the comment section below. But until next time, bye-bye.